Hi everybody, this is the Hellenic Wiccan. I'm back with another video. So, yeah, that's a lot better. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about one thing, and then I'm going to go into the subject of the video. And the subject of the video is what led me to the practice of Wicca. And later on this week, probably around the weekend, I will actually do another video about what it was like to live with a unsupportive parent. I'm not saying parents because my father passed away when I was a year old. I do actually have an adopted father now, which is bizarre. He adopted me the day my mother passed away, which is bizarre. But hey, cool. I have a big family again. So, yeah. So, starting with this video and continue on with the one I will be posting on the weekend. It's going to probably be Sunday, Easter. Woo. I seriously have to get some Easter egg candy. To the back. I buy some Cadbury cream eggs. I love those things. I am a Cadbury cream egg fan. I don't care that I get a toothache from it. I don't care. I like my Cadbury cream eggs. So I'm sorry. I love Easter candy, and I always look forward to when Easter comes around. I am avoiding the black jelly beans. I don't like them, and also that was something I used to buy for Mom, and I don't want the memories. So black Easter egg jelly beans will never be back in the house because that's something Mom liked, and I just don't want it in the house. Just too many memories. All right. So I'm doing a series of videos. These are going to be like talking about what led me into Wicca, what is Wicca. I'm going to be talking about the tools, why I consider altars to be important, the difference between altars and shrines. I did tell you a lot of what I was going to be talking about in the intro video, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the series of videos that I will be doing are going to be starting today. So, with that being said, what led me into the practice of Wicca? Okay, so first of all, I wasn't really raised in church. I did go to church when I was much younger, when I was like 2, 3, 4 years old, and my mother used to go to a United Pentecostal church. The pastor of her old church is still alive. I'm actually going to see if I can find him and let him know that mother passed away. So I was sort of had that Pentecostal upbringing, sort of, meaning that when I was about sorry about this, guys. When I was about 6 years old, my mother stopped going to church, and thus I stopped going to church as well. I did not have any bad experiences with Christianity, though of course my opinion of the church has changed a lot. I did appreciate, the whole thing with the chaplain coming in and everything. I thought that was amazing, and I know she appreciated, in her final minutes, and I was really glad I was able to do that for her. So, so I wasn't really raised in church, and when I was, oh Lord, I got itchy eyes today. When I was around 12, my mother got custody back of me and my brother, and we moved with her up to St. Louis where her friends were at. Her friends who could give her the support and give her the resources she needed, that we needed, to find a new place to live and to have a roof over our heads and they were absolutely amazing in that area, and I will always appreciate their help for as long as I'm alive. I will always appreciate the help that they gave us. So one day, I don't know what day it was. I think it might have been the weekend. My mother took me to a place called Pathways. And Pathways, which is still in business, I was totally shocked. They were not a very big shop. They were pretty small. They just had, stones, and they had crystal points, and they had music. I loved the music. They had music, and most importantly, they had books. They really didn't have a lot of books. They may have had maybe like 20 books in that whole store. And the very first book that I ever picked up was to stir a silver cauldron by Silver Raven Wolf. And at the time, I did not know that it was the book that she read to become a second-degree witch. But it did give me some information about Wicca that made me make the decision that this was the path I was going to follow. I later on did manage to get to ride a silver broomstick, which did in fact give me more foundational information. I also did pick up the big blue book, which I do actually have it in my wish list, in my account under the word witchcraft. So I do in fact have that book. So I read Raymond Buckland, I read Scott Cunningham, I read Silver Raven Wolf, and during the course of my year and a day, I knew this was the path for me. I knew this was what I wanted to practice for the rest of my life. And at the end of a year and a day, I did a private initiation ritual, self-initiation ritual, and I declared myself to be a Wiccan. At first, my mother was very open-minded and very supportive of what I was doing. And I made comments several times that I really don't know what it's like. I do not know what it's like to live with an unsupportive parent. My mother is supportive of me. She supports my path and what I'm doing, and I don't have any problems. When I turned about 21 or 22, this happened about 4 months after my mother started getting her Social Security checks. She actually told me that she did not want me to be practicing Wicca and witchcraft. She did not want it in her home, and that she wanted me to stop. And I was shocked, because now I didn't have a supportive parent anymore. I had a parent who now believed that her way was the right way. And it shattered whatever trust I had in her. I was hurt. I was really deeply hurt, because this was a religion that I had decided to practice. So the strange thing about it was that my mother never had me throw my books out. I actually did that myself when we moved, and she just, that's all she said. As time progressed on, she became a lot more controlling. She actually, I had to hide books I borrowed from the library from her, and I was continuing to do the simple things like meditation and visualization, and trying to figure out how the hell was I going to practice my religion I did have an altar. My mother never told me to take it down, but I could tell that she was not pleased by it, especially when my grandmother, that's my father's mother, passed away, and she left over $10,000 to me, but I had to spend a huge chunk of it on things like the cremation and the burial. So I knew a great deal about the cremation process and how, well, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say expensive, because it's not. It's actually one of the lower price ways to bury someone. But my mother was there when I got angry at my father's family. I have not talked to them since my grandmother passed away, and that was over 10 years ago. So it's been a decade since I, talked to them. But as time progressed on, every time I'd bring something in that was witchy looking, she would give me this look of, I cannot believe you're bringing that into the house. But she couldn't do anything to me because it was my money, and it was, she'd probably buy something insane anyways if she had the money. So things progressed on, and I discovered, Kindle came around, and I was like, really cool, and these witchy books started being released on Kindle, and I started to, I actually bought a Nook. Man, that was weird. I bought a Nook, and I would just buy the heck out of, I used to buy like 20, 30 witchcraft books, and somehow I never finished any of them, which sucked. I wasn't open about my paganism. I was open on the internet, and when I was asking for advice about my mother, I had a lot of people in the pagan community that basically said that, going to church is not going to hurt you. If you can't practice your religion, you can't practice it. You're going to have to wait till you're out on your own to be able to practice it. And the strange thing was, I thought Mother, in her annoying capacity for being annoying, was going to live to be 80, 90 years old. And I would probably be in my 70s by the time she passed away, and I was able to openly practice my religion. Things started changing last year around this time. It's been a year since the first heart attack happened, and she went to the hospital, and that's how they discovered she had a heart attack, and her health just went downhill. They gave her medication, she wouldn't take it. Then she also got more belligerent and more determined that if she did pass away, that I would continue with, going to church and reading my Bible and being Christian and judging people and hating on people and all that type of stuff. So that is, that was when everything went downhill. She would watch videos that would aggravate her heart condition. She would not listen to me when I told her, you're not supposed to be watching these things. And, she kept on saying, I know. And my response would be, then why the heck are you still doing it? Which did not go well with her. In October or November of last year, when she was in rehabilitation after her second heart failure, which knocked her heart capacity down to 50%. I started to buy the books back. I said to myself, when we move, I'm going to have to put my books, in something with a lock on it, because my mother will be nosy. But what ended up happening was I ended up not needing it when everything was said and done. So I started buying the books again because I knew that if she passed away, I would be free of her. And that was something that I wasn't looking forward to when she passed away. I knew it was going to happen. But I, you know, I just, I was just preparing to finally be free and finally be able to, do this. But I also understood in giant context that that I would have to make choices of burial, because even my brother said that she wasn't going to make it to the end of 2020, and he happened to be right. So when my mother passed away, for 48 hours, I was just like, my brother went off to work on the day she passed away. Not really something that his coworkers were happy about. So 48 hours after my mother passed away, I took my coffee table back, because that was actually still my coffee table, and I cleansed it, I consecrated it, and I turned it back into my altar. And I also had gotten, the month previous, I had gotten, Solitary Witch, and I bought 3 other books on Wicca, and I would sit in my living room and I would read through the books, and I would, of course, have my crying episodes and all that type of stuff. But one of the things I learned during this whole situation with my mother's health deteriorating and going is that I had to make a choice in regards to my religious choices. I had to make that choice. I had to say to myself, okay, what are you going to do when your mother passes away? It's going to happen. She has had a heart attack. She has had heart failure. What are you going to do as a free-thinking, independent adult? You are officially out of the house, even though you're still in the house, and everything. And we all had to decide who was going to be the new head of household. It was actually my brother that decided he was going to be the new head of household. And I just basically just started to read my books. I started putting stuff in my wish list on Barnes & Noble, all this type of stuff, because I wanted to start recollecting the books. I wanted to actually sit down and read the books that my mother originally bought years ago that I had never been able to read. So, my altar is the way I want it. My altar is how I've been wanting it for a very long time. I am happy, I'm content. I don't need to buy any more statues. And I'm just love my altar. So I started off in Wicca. I ended up going through all these strange little detours and trying to keep something of a practice around burning purple candles represents spirituality, a constant reminder of what is important in my life, which is my spirituality and everything. So in the end, it brought me right back to Wicca. So I am back at the beginning, and it's a loop that goes around and around and around. The great thing about being able to practice my religion is I can practice it. I don't have to worry about somebody telling me, oh, you shouldn't be doing this and everything. And I'm just really, really blessed. I'm going to be honest, I do think about my mother all the time. I do miss her a lot. But I decided 2 months ago that I was going to come back and I was going to continue my Wiccan practice. I was going to be an independent Wiccan. and I'm just really glad that I did become one. So I hope that this video helps someone. We're nearing roughly the 20-minute mark. But I will see you guys around. To the back, I'll see you guys on Sunday. I'll probably end up wearing the same shirt because I'm going to go and wash it. So I will see you guys around. Until next time, may the God and the Goddess bless you.